The exterminator backed out of my basement. Those aren't rats. Call the police. I stared at Frank, who'd been in the pest control business for 25 years and had seen everything. His face was white as he climbed the basement stairs, hands shaking as he packed up his equipment. I'd called Frank because we'd been hearing scratching noises in the basement for weeks. My wife thought it was mice, but the sounds were too big, too deliberate. Frank had gone down with his flashlight and professional confidence, but came back up a different man entirely. What do you mean, call the police? I asked, following him to his truck. Frank wouldn't look me in the eye as he loaded his gear. Those scratching sounds? They're fingernails. Human fingernails scraping against wood. There's someone down there and they're not moving around like they should be. My stomach dropped as Frank explained what he'd found. Behind the old furnace, there was a section of the basement wall that had been recently bricked up. The scratching sounds were coming from behind that wall, along with what sounded like muffled attempts at communication. I grabbed my phone and called 911 immediately. When I explained the situation, the dispatcher sent police and paramedics right away. Within 15 minutes, our quiet suburban street was filled with emergency vehicles and neighbors coming out to see what was happening. Detective Rodriguez arrived and went down to the basement with 2 other officers. They came back up grim-faced and immediately called for additional units. We need to treat this as a potential kidnapping scene, she told me. Someone is definitely behind that wall and they're alive. The fire department brought specialized equipment to carefully break through the brick wall without causing harm to whoever was trapped inside. It took 2 hours of careful work, but finally they broke through to reveal a makeshift prison cell. Inside, they found a young woman named Lisa, who'd been missing for 3 months. She was dehydrated and weak, but conscious and able to speak. She'd been surviving on minimal food and water that someone had been providing through a small opening near the ceiling. Lisa told police that she'd been kidnapped from a parking lot downtown and brought to this basement. Her captor had told her that if she made too much noise, he'd hurt her family. But when she heard Frank walking around upstairs, she'd started scratching at the walls, hoping someone would investigate. The most chilling part was learning that we'd only lived in this house for 6 months. The previous owner, a man named David Walsh, had disappeared right around the time Lisa went missing. Police found evidence that Walsh had constructed the hidden room specifically to hold prisoners. During the investigation, they discovered Walsh had been planning this for over a year. He'd researched missing persons cases, studied soundproofing techniques, and even practiced building hidden rooms in other properties. Lisa wasn't his first victim, just his most recent. Walsh was found 2 days later hiding in a cabin 3 hours north of town. He'd fled when he realized the house had been sold, and new owners might discover his secret. He was arrested on charges of kidnapping, false imprisonment, and attempted murder. The investigation revealed Walsh had held at least 4 other women in similar hidden rooms across 3 different states. Lisa's survival and rescue led to solving multiple missing persons cases that had gone cold. Her courage to make noise when she heard activity upstairs saved her life. We moved out of that house immediately, and it was eventually demolished. No one should have to live in a place where such horrors occurred. Lisa recovered physically and has become an advocate for missing persons awareness, using her experience to help other families. Frank the Exterminator became something of a local hero for recognizing that the sounds weren't from animals. His 25 years of experience told him immediately that human behavior sounds different from pest activity, even in the most desperate circumstances. 6 months later, Lisa sent us a letter thanking us for living in that house and calling for help when we heard the strange noises. She said knowing that good people can recognize when something's wrong and take action gave her hope during her darkest moments. Sometimes the most innocent home maintenance calls reveal the most serious crimes. Frank's professional expertise and willingness to trust his instincts helped save a life and brought a dangerous predator to justice.